Hey guys, it's Mara Melikowski, and I'm going to be talking about robot ethics, the ethical and social implications for robots from my paper. My focus is on roboethics and the questions surrounding this concept. Roboethics is a branch of applied ethics that looks at how we will govern their behavior and the level of independent actions we will allow. There are three main issues that surround this topic: the ethics of people who create and employ robots, the ethical system embedded in robots, and the ethics of how people treat robots. I'll be focusing on the first two issues because they address the main question I want to answer. Are robots capable of ethical thinking? Are we able to program in this kind of decision making? Also, what impact will the creators of their code have on their judgment abilities? There are many more questions addressed along this line of thinking, including questions relating to the role robots will play, who takes responsibility for their actions, and what limitations should we set. I want to address how we decide the short-term robot ethical issues, like programming and good and bad, while also taking a long-term view of how it will affect the world over a longer period of time. Many people are afraid of even creating humanoid robots and are convinced that they will become killing machines, which isn't an unreasonable fear when you consider that the US uses robots mainly to kill and harm human beings. Also, you have to take into consideration science fiction and its impact on our thinking concerning robots and their tendency to be corrupted, go berserk, or otherwise horribly malfunction. For instance, Ex Mechanica, The Matrix, 2001: A Space Odyssey, Shadow Chasers, Screamers, and iRobot are all good examples of movies that perpetuate this fear. Speaking of iRobot, those three laws I've historically put into place regarding the base programming within all robots has been proven faulty by the what ifs that those sci-fi movies present. Here are the infamous three laws. A robot may not injure a human being, or, through an action, allow a human being to become to harm. 2. A robot must obey the orders given it by human beings, except where such orders would conflict with the first law. 3. A robot must protect its own existence as long as such protection does not conflict with the first or second laws. How can we change these to be more specific, and who will be in charge of putting them in place? The IEEE Robotics and Automation Society is willing to take on the task and has created the Technical Committee on Robot Ethics. They have scientists, theorists, scholars from a variety of disciplines like psychology and law, all working on how robots will interact with humans and what we will use them for, with an entire section devoted to military use. They are collaborating around the world to address ethical questions that are becoming prevalent with the rising tide of robotics research and technology. One of their main concerns is how quickly they are making advancements. They cannot keep up, and they need to come up with answers quickly. They hold workshops, conferences, special sessions, and meetings to help them create ethical guidelines that could dictate our design of robot systems. Going deeper into machine ethics, an example is the commercial toy robot Now. Scientists are already experimenting with programming a robot to complete tasks that involve a level of ethical decision making. For instance, the Andersons had the robot programmed to remind a patient to take their medicine, but presented ethical dilemmas like should the robot force the patient to take the medicine if they refuse? They could get sick if they don't take it, but it could violate the patient's rights if they would force them to take it. Learning algorithms were installed to help the robot develop its own sense of right and wrong, but this method does not allow the scientists to pick what new ethical rules the robot comes up with, and some theorize that explicitly formulated rules would be more advantageous. But the robot still needs to understand the consequences of its actions, which is another consideration of ethics. How they will solve this problem, we'll have to find out.